What's up, guys? Evan Centopani here. My home gym here in New Haven, Connecticut, Montanari Brothers Powerhouse. It's Monday morning. We're gonna hit some legs. Gonna try to give you guys some insight and try to offer some of the things that I've learned over the past few years, some do's, some don'ts, and hopefully you find it interesting. Hopefully it's insightful, and let's go in there and get it done. What I decided to do is just get on the treadmill, put the incline all the way up, not going fast or anything like that. Of course, you know, I will still warm up when I get on the gym floor with weight, but this just kind of everything gets everything moving a little bit looser, more movement in your hips. I feel like it kind of helps to warm up my lower back a little bit. I always felt more stable and more powerful with my hands in a little bit closer. So, you know, it takes me a couple minutes to just kind of stretch using the bar, get my shoulders back, open everything up. That way, you see guys sometimes with the bar a bit higher up on their neck, and that's not good. At least I don't think it is. I've always felt like the lower I can get my bar, get the bar down on my back and across my traps, it enables me to keep my back straighter and just puts me in a more powerful position. If that bar is creeping up on your neck, it's going to have a tendency to kind of pull you forward around your back, and your mechanics kind of go to shit, and you know, you're not only less powerful, but it puts you, you know, more likely in a position where you might injure yourself. So just make sure you take your time, and I wouldn't advocate really doing a lot of stretching in your lower body. Like a lot of guys, you'll see them stretching out their quads, stuff like that. That I don't know if that's good. I've always felt like that. When I get under the squat bar, or any other bar for that matter, I want to feel tight, if that makes any sense, but not tight in the sense that I can't move, but tight that there's blood and everything is, all the muscles there, and everything is solid, but not like my range of motion is restricted. So if I take the time and kind of, you know, warm up with the treadmill, step mill, just get blood everywhere, I find that my range of motion is better and I feel stronger. You know, the time of day that you train makes a difference too. I mean, we're here, it's 10:30 a.m. Relatively early. I mean, it's not 6 a.m., but when you're thinking about it in terms of, you know, all night long, your body's dehydrating, your body's inactive. You get up and you train earlier in the day, your body has only had X amount of time to basically hydrate itself, load itself with nutrients, and on top of it, you haven't really been going through a lot of motion, chances are. Versus if you've been up all day, even if you're kind of a relatively sedentary person, you've moved around more than, you know, if you wake up 6 o'clock in the morning and go straight to the gym. Unless, you know, if you're getting up first, doing cardio, you get that blood moving, fluid has a chance to kind of make its way throughout your body. You're less, I've always found that training in the afternoon, my body just feels a little bit more warmed up. You might notice, you know, for some of you watching that don't, you know, might not know why, you might notice I'm using a little bit more of a wide stance when I squat. Why? It's probably a two-part explanation. The first part being, for me, it feels safer, it feels a little bit more natural. I don't know if it's because I'm taller or just basically the way I'm assembled. Going a little bit wider enables me to keep my back straight through the whole movement, keep the pressure on my heels, versus if I try to come super narrow, my heels usually end up coming off the floor, my back will round. I just don't have that. Maybe it's a matter of flexibility in the ankle or whatever. Secondly, I tried for years to squat with more of a narrow stance, And aside from the pain that it would cause, I felt like it wasn't really giving me the results. I mean, I was able to build actually decent quads, but it really had no inner thigh. It actually made my legs look really small, even though I had a decent sized quad, because the absence of that inner thigh. You can look at some guys and their legs look massive, but if you look at it, sometimes they can actually have a pretty small or not really greatly developed quad, but their legs look massive because they just have this, you know, all this meat on their inner thigh. So there's a difference between, you know, having great quads and having great legs. Doing it with a wider stance, I feel like enabled me to involve more of my whole leg, inner thighs, quads, glutes, hams, the whole bit. And when I started doing it like this, under the suggestion of my buddy Justin Miller, my legs really started to take off a lot. So I've been doing it that way ever since. 6 for now, yeah, warm up. Maybe a 35-degree angle versus the red one, which is more like a 45. The red one's a lot more difficult. This one, though, I prefer the bigger platform, and it's smoother, and I feel like I can actually hit my quads a bit better on it. It just has a better overall feel, whereas the red one just has a tendency to kind of wreck my knees. Don't get too caught up. You know, everybody likes to load up the leg press, and you know, truth be told, I was in Jersey one time. I saw a girl had this same leg press loaded up, you know, the main post and the top post, everything just loaded, and her legs weren't very big. So don't get too caught up. Obviously, you want to challenge yourself, you know, with heavy weight and all that, but under a big enough load, your body will find a way to, you know, use whatever it can to get the weight up, which isn't always a bad thing. But you know, it is bodybuilding and not powerlifting, so make sure you're working the muscle too. Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys a trick. Some guys, when they come down, feel like their ass lifts up off the seat, right? If I sit all the way down in this seat, my ass will lift up by the time the platform's all the way down. So I do is just scoot up on the seat. See how much room I got between my ass and the bottom of the seat? So now, when the platform comes all the way down, my ass won't lift up off the seat. It'll stay flat against here. Try it, especially for taller guys. You sit all the way down in that seat, and by the time you get down to you're all the way down in position, your ass is up off the seat and your back is rounded and no good. Right here is jump over to a few sets of lying ham curls right now. It might seem odd, you know, because we started basically on the path of doing quads, but got so much pump right now in my lower back, my glutes, my quads, that I feel like shifting a little bit to the hams would be a beneficial thing. Then we go back, maybe superset some walking dumbbell lunges with the leg press. Perfect. One thing that I'd encourage you guys out there to do, which I found was really beneficial for me, and it's just a suggestion, something you might want to try. Might or might not work, but think of your legs more in their entirety, rather than strictly in isolation when you're training them. I've had really great workouts, you know, superset quads and hams You know, do an extra a quad movement, a hamstring movement, quad movement, a hamstring movement. And by the time you're done, whole leg is just engorged. There's plenty of guys that would superset bis and tris, but think of doing their hams and quads. Probably mainly because the amount of weight that they would use might be cut down a little bit. They don't want to do that, but everything works once in a while and for a limited time. So give it a shot, see if you like it. Lunges are a movement I think are way underrated. You know, typical girl movement. I don't think they're a great standalone movement. I think used as part of a superset or, you know, re-exhaust, something like that, I think they're great. Especially, I especially like dumbbells. I know a lot of guys do it with a barbell. If you're a bit limited on space, doing it with a barbell is tough. But also, I think the dumbbell is beneficial because it enables you to bring the weight. You know, if I'm stepping with this leg, I can bring the weight directly, you know, in line with that leg, keep it kind of centered. I think it gives you more control. And I can really keep all the pressure on my heels. It's a great movement. I feel like especially for, at least for me, I can concentrate on this upper area that's, you know, I never had to focus on this right here. It's, you know, my teardrop always grew real easy, and I needed to focus all the pressure higher up in my quads. It's a great movement, you know, to lead into something like the leg press with. Again, to hopefully make that movement a little bit more productive rather than, you know, leading off with it. Again, it's worth a shot. Well, one thing I wanted to mention to you guys on the hyper extension. Come here for a minute. Give this a shot sometime, right? Instead of backing your heels up to the pad, come over around here. Put your feet down low, so they're not against the pad, they're down here, right? Push your feet into the platform. Keep your knees bent, right? Instead of locking out, keep your knees bent down here. Bend over the pad. Come up with your knees bent. See? So from the side, it should look like this versus like this. You're down here. So you're squeezing, clamping down on your hamstring, pulling your kneecaps down and pushing your feet into the platform. Try that. You get a totally different feeling than you would doing it the way most people usually do it. Knees locked out, ankles or heels up against here. Try it. And as with, you know, any other deadlift, coming down, keep the bar close to you. Pressure on the heels. When you come up, you know, there's no need to roll your shoulders back and contract your back. All you got to do is thrust your hips forward, because all you're looking to do is, you know, squeeze your hams and your glutes. So there's no sense in wasting all that movement and energy, you know, locking out your back and all that. Done at the end of the leg workout, pretty shot by the time you're done. You might think it's a lot to deadlift and squat in the same workout, and it definitely is. But if you do your quad stuff first, and then you kind of have like a period where you're doing a couple of movements for hamstrings that aren't super intense and, you know, heavy, then chances are by the time you get through those, you'll be able to squeak out a couple sets of deads. Try it. I'm cooked. legs are done for another week. It was a hell of a way to start off the week. You know, so you guys training legs on Saturday, try them on a Monday. You might find you got a little bit more juice. You got a little bit more energy to dedicate to them. Plus, you get them out of the way for the week. But like I said, that's it for me. And I hope you enjoyed it. Hope there was something useful in there for you. And I'll see you guys soon. Take it easy.